Willie D Live.
What's up, family? A former Indianapolis Colts football player and his wife has been arrested and charged with several crimes in connection with the disappearance of their 14-year-old son, Bryson, who had been missing for 14 days. The Indiana State Police SWAT team executed search and arrest warrants on Wednesday around 6 a.m. for Daniel and Kristen Meir. They found the couple at their Logan Sport home with their 14-year-old son, Bryson, alive and well. I ain't got no problem with that. But here's the deal, fam. This couple definitely needs to be investigated because their son is being abused. The report states that Daniel is a pastor at Stateway Truth Ministries, a Tennessee-based religious group that some have labeled as a cult. I got another clap coming for the grandmother, and I'll tell you about the grandmother in a moment. Now, Daniel is 40 years old. He was charged with 1 count of obstruction of justice and 1 count of domestic battery. Kristen, 38, was also charged with obstruction of justice. On June 28, police said that the Meir parents agreed to bring Bryson to the station at noon, but backed out at 11 a.m., signaling an unwillingness to cooperate. That's when Bryson's silver alert was issued. Police provided the public with 2 photos of Bryson, one which showed him with a black eye. Now check this out, fam. Bryson's grandmother, Cheryl Wright, is the one who called it in. Bryson's grandmother is the one who possibly saved his life after telling the police that he could possibly be being abused. I ain't got no problem with that. Let me tell you something, fam. Too often, we in society like to say, mind your own business. You know, we say clever little things like, mind the business that paid you. I get it, fam. It makes a lot of sense. But there's a thing called discretion. We got to use our common sense. In certain cases, what our neighbors do is our business. Because if our neighbor, let's say, is inside of their house building a bomb, they got packages going in and out, in and out, in and out. Strange people going in and out, in and out, in and out. We just gonna sit back and say, oh, you know, that's their business, just, you know, mind it. Nah, man, we gotta know what's going on, because what's going on in their house, on their property, more than likely will spill over into what's going on our property. Even if somebody's selling drugs, that person that's selling drugs got enemies. The enemies may decide that they wanna ride through and shoot up the house. You know these fools can't shoot. You know they can't aim. So what happens? Your kid in the yard catches straight, or you or your loved ones are inside of the house minding your own business like you always do and catch a stray bullet. Right? Nah, man, we gotta look out for each other, man. It ain't gonna work no other way. We got to look out for each other. And it's very important when these kids are being abused that we step up for them. Because today's abusive child is tomorrow's abusive adult. We ain't got no choice, man. Even if you're the most selfish person in the world, it would behoove you to look out for your neighbor and your neighbor's children. Because we all share this space together. There's no such thing as living in a bubble. Unless you're just gonna go somewhere and go all the way out on a farm somewhere, out into the wilderness, and live off the fat of the land. And even then, you'll have a drifter that'll come through, and next thing you know, you're the only house in the area. You're the only tent. You're the only one. I see a cardboard, or I see a piece of plywood covering a hole in the ground. Let me raise this and see what's going on. Oh, there's somebody live down there. Well, let me go down there and see what's going on. Uncivilized mutts are everywhere, fam. They will find you. You cannot hide from these uncivilized mutts. You can't hide from uncivilized mutts with just your security system or your gated community. You can't just get behind your gates and think you're safe. I've heard of situations where fools come through those gates and do harm. So, living in a gated community, that's cool. Hell, I live in one. Having a security system, that's good. I got it. Having that there, that's cool. I got it. But all of those, fam, all of those things, all of those security features are not necessarily to prevent, but to give you a fighting chance. You did? So none of it guarantees that you won't be harmed. The best thing that we can do is look out for each other, including adding some of these social services back into society, like putting some of these social services, like funding these social services, because Lord knows we need them, especially when it comes to mental health. Good Lord, we need them, especially when it comes to conflict resolution. We need that money to teach people. American people, they have to be trained on how to handle conflict, how to handle rejection, how to just coexist. We gotta be trained that, because somewhere we lost, the moral compass got lost, man. Somewhere along the line, it just got lost. You got mamas killing sons, sons killing sisters, sisters killing daddies, getting their boyfriends to set their daddies up to murder, killing their grandparents. Ain't nobody safe nowhere. Nobody's safe in school, in church, at the hospital. People coming up to the hospital, gunning people down. Nobody's safe nowhere. So all of this, every man for himself, the strongest, man, even the strongest can get their head knocked off if they get caught slipping. The best thing to do, man, for us is to try to figure this thing out, man, and bring some humanity back into play, because Americans are desensitized to drama. It's just one big old toxic cesspool. That kid, somebody did him dirty, and the grandmother suggested that it was the parents. Let me tell you something, fam, that I know for a fact. I've seen a lot of cases like this. When parents are not cooperative, when their children are missing or they've been harmed in some way, and the parents are not cooperative, that parent should be the number one suspect. All resources should be used against them to prove either their guilt or innocence. Usually their guilt. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.